Before I start talking about the main topic, I would like to preface it by talking about cartoons. You see, I have a younger sibling. Whenever she's being hyper or annoying, I like to put on a cartoon to calm her down. And when I was doing this, I noticed something interesting about the cartoons. They're not that good anymore. Yes, I am aware that some of the cartoons that have been airing in the last few years have been considered absolutely excellent. However, a lot of these cartoons are aimed at children that are a little older than my sister. So eventually, I decided to put on Pokemon. It's a pretty safe bet in terms of quality. At least that's what I initially thought. The latest Pokemon cartoon, Sun and Moon, is quite frankly terrible. It's far worse than X and Y, the previous series, which is largely considered the best. The animation is worse, the writing makes it so they only move through a few locations and there are too many characters. But while the writing can be lazy, the inexcusable thing is the laziness of the animation. Yes, it is incredibly difficult to animate all these episodes, but X and Y did it, so why can't they? This little thought about cartoons in Pokemon stuck with me for a few days, but I never really thought much of it. A few months later, the Pokemon Company announced Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu. I remember a lot of people bashing the graphics, but I think they're really good. I mean, it's no Super Mario Odyssey or Breath of the Wild, but at least it looks better than Sun and Moon in HD. Yes, a few months later, Pokemon Sword and Shield were announced, and I remember being very underwhelmed by the graphics. Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee at least look like they had their own assets made for their game. They have this colorful and bright art style. Sword and Shield, however, this is just up-res X and Y. I mean, yes, obviously some models are new, they have the new environments and the wild field open area thing, but the art style is the same from the 3DS games. It looks like a 3DS game. But whatever, they'll improve it, and even if they don't, this is Pokemon, it's fun. Anyway, a long time later, right before E3 2019, they put out the new Pokemon Sword and Shield presentation, where they show off Dynamaxing. Pokemon become big, and you thought Mega Evolutions were lazy. Oh, and by the way, those are going away. This was a bummer. Yeah, I mean, Dynamaxing looked kinda cool, but the removal of Mega Evolutions, that was bad. But hey, it's still Pokemon. It's probably going to be fun. I still had faith in the game. Until what happened next. I remember watching Nintendo's presentation and being very happy with all the cool announcements they made. The new Smash characters, Breath of the Wild 2, new information on Animal Crossing New Horizons and Luigi's Mansion 3, a lot of cool stuff. So after the presentation, they started showing Nintendo Treehouse, and surprise surprise, the first game they show off was Pokemon Sword and Shield. They showed off some wild Pokemon battles, the wild area, but nobody could have expected the message they were about to give.
So in previous games that worked with the Pokemon Bank service, you were able to, for example in Sun and Moon, bring over any Pokemon even if they weren't in the Alola Pokedex.
でハードが任天堂スイッチになって、ポケモン1匹ずつに対しての表現自体も非常に豊かになりました。
But with the transition to the Nintendo Switch hardware, with its, it being much more powerful, allowing us to be much more expressive with each of the individual Pokemon.
でもう一つポケモンはもう今では図鑑番号でいうとやっぱり800を超えてます。
And now we're well over 800 Pokemon species in the games.
でその中で1匹ずつ大切にクオリティを上げてバトルバランスも取って、限られた開発期間の中で最新作をお届けするためにどうするかっていうのは長い間議論を重ねてきました。
At Game Freak, we really spent a lot of time thinking about what the best way to move forward was, really preserving the quality of all the different Pokemon, while also, taking into account the battle balance, having so many different Pokemon available, all within, a limited development time, so we don't keep fans waiting too long for every new entry in the series.
その結果今作から対応方針を変えることにしました。
And after a lot of discussion, we decided to come to kind of a new direction.
つまりですねポケモンホームとソードシールドの間を行き来できるポケモンをガラル図鑑に登場するポケモンに絞ることにしました。
And so what that means for Pokemon Sword and Shield is that players will be able to transfer their Pokemon from Pokemon Home only if they appear in the Galar region Pokedex.
Pokemon Sword and Shield would not include every single Pokemon. Now, this was very alarming to me for two reasons. One, it means that the Pokemon remakes for my favorite generation, Generation 4, are going to take even more time due to the fact that they haven't modeled and prepared every Pokemon yet. And two, I can't catch my favorite Pokemon, Pidove. And suddenly, it hit me. The same thing that happened to the cartoon happened to the game. Something that was very well done before is now being done much worse. I guess the standards for Pokemon products have just lowered, or something else is happening. Some people are blaming this whole thing on Game Freak's new project, Town. Now, I'm not gonna spend much more time on the no national dex controversy since it's very well covered on YouTube. The only thing I'm gonna say is that that was a staple of the Pokemon franchise and they removed it. They tried to do something like Breath of the Wild, going back to the foundation and changing up the things. Except here, instead of removing stupid things, they removed actual content. And I do understand, having this looming list of Pokemon to collect is basically a nightmare to any completionist, me included. But honestly, the fact that it's not there is mostly a symbolic thing rather than an actual gameplay thing. Very few people go out of their way to catch every single Pokemon, especially now that there's like 800 of them. Before concluding, let's talk about some other announcements made after the E3 event. Let's see, fancy Galarian forms, a really weird Zigzagoon evolution, and this monstrosity. I think this concludes our episode.